Hello, my name's Tara and I am the Managing Director of Railton Meeks Property Management Limited. We're based in Didsbury in South Manchester. We're 3 miles from the city centre and we specialise in the management and letting of flats and houses, high-end flats and houses in both the city centre and in South Manchester. We also have a niche. Our niche is HMO management. Now, I'm a landlord. I bought my first property in 1999, which was a HMO. Now, this video is particularly for non-UK based landlords. Now, obviously you are far away from your investments here in Manchester and you're relying on your current agent. You're uncertain about the current world situation and the rental market due to COVID-19 and the potential future for property investment as a vehicle to save for your future and to give you that extra income. Are you in two minds whether you should keep your property or sell? And are you concerned about the condition of it and that perhaps it's not being looked after well enough by your tenants? I imagine that you would just like peace of mind. You would like freedom and you would like confidence that your property investment is in good hands and still the best way to save for you and your family's future. I would like to tell you a story about one of our non-UK based landlords. Now, his name is James. He is still one of our clients today and he first came to me. He sent me a rather desperate email backed up with an even more desperate phone call, and he'd been contacted by his letting agency and they told him that the tenants had now vacated and his parents, they'd handed back the keys, and his parents, who were still living in Manchester, went to the property to check the condition of it after the tenants left. Now, unfortunately, the property was in a really poor condition. It was looking run down, there was lots of rubbish outside the property, the agent had been particularly unhelpful, and James needed help. He'd been without rent for several months at this point. Now, unfortunately, it materialised that the agent hadn't been carrying out property checks. So the people on the tenancy agreement weren't the people living at the property. And there had been something like 6 people, European workers, living at the property, and it had become very, very worn over a 12-month period. Now, as you can imagine, the neighbours were becoming increasingly upset. 2 of those had been trying to sell their properties for that 12-month period, and due to the noise emanating from the property and the poor condition of the exterior, they were unable to sell. When James came to us, the council were on the cusp of beginning a prosecution against James due to the fact that he didn't have a HMO licence and the property obviously didn't have planning permission to be used as a HMO. Now, James was oblivious to this, and so were his parents. Now, the property had become very worn down. For example, the boiler had been dripping for a 12-month period onto the worktops in the kitchen. They would become very warped. The wood floor that ran from the kitchen through to the living room had become damaged due to the water. It needed redecorating. The curtain tracks and curtains had been pulled down. All the furniture was damaged. Mattresses were stained. So, once we'd spoken to James, within a couple of hours, I'd arranged to meet his mum and dad at the property. And I quickly went about setting his parents at ease, as they had done so much so far and really needed to be relieved of this added stress. Now, we quickly, between us, established a plan and we worked out what needed to be done to the property to get that property back up to a professional standard. And obviously we wanted to get it let rapidly with the right tenants to get James's income back in his pocket. So within a 3-week period, we'd refurbish the property, obviously replace the worktops in the kitchen, replace sections of the wood floor, redecorated throughout, refitted executive standard curtain poles, beautiful curtains. We'd replace carpets where we needed to. The property was professionally cleaned. And what we do here at Railton Meeks to make sure that we get tenants quickly is we dress the properties. With this particular property, James's, we laid it out in an executive standard, and we made all the beds up, put throws on the property, cushions on the couches. We dressed it. Now that ensures that we get great photographs, a fabulous video, and within 3 weeks, as I said, we put the property on the market. We managed to secure within 48 hours a relocation client for him and his family. They were happy to pay a premium because the property's in an excellent location, and we'd refurbished it and got it back to an executive standard. Now those tenants are still living in the property today, and this is round about 18 months ago, this story. So they're still living there, they're still paying their rent, they're still very, very happy. Now, what I would like to do is I would like to offer you the same service. Now, we understand because it's uncertain times and you need to save as much money as you can and you want to make sure that you're getting a good deal. We're willing to offer you 4 months free property management. Now, what we'd like you to do now to take advantage of this offer is drop us an email. We want to hear about your situation. We want to know about your property investments, and let's see how we can help you. Looking forward to speaking to you. Bye-bye.